everyone, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. Yet again, this video is a little bit late since it's, I think, the 11th of August. But this time I did not film at the beginning of the month because I went on a little vacation in a little Sicilian island near home with, COVID. We can't go far. But now I'm here ready to do my wrap up. July was a great month, I have to say. I read 8 books, I watched 3 movies, and I watched 5 TV show seasons. So let's begin. First, I finished Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I really want to watch this show now and see what is different between the book and the show. It's on Amazon here in Italy, so maybe I'll film a reaction and a mini book review. But this was great, honestly. I give it, I think, 4.5 stars. The thing that didn't make me give this one a full 5 stars was because at the end of the book, I do not want to give spoilers, but I did not like the reactions of some of the kids, the Richardson kids. I was expecting something more, but I really did love this book. It's about this rich white family who rents their house, another one of their houses that they have, to a mother and a daughter. This couple, basically mother and daughter, do not live in one place for long, so they're like nomads. They have been everywhere in the United States because her mom is an artist and they always change places, but they also have, secrets. The mother has some secrets, and we find out also in the middle of all this figuring out secrets, there is a custody battle between a rich white family who is trying to adopt this Chinese baby, and the mother of the Chinese baby who wants her kid back. So there is this custody battle, and it really makes you think, about the mother, the biological mother, was poor, is still poor, but she doesn't really want to give up her child, and there's this question: should she bring up her child even though she can't really afford it and all that? I really, get why they did this as a TV show, because it's very episodic. Every chunk of the book, they're dealing with something different, with one of the kids dealing with something, the secrets of the mother and the custody battle. It's very episodic, and I really enjoyed this one. I really want to watch the show, and I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. Yeah, I recommend. Next, I read on Scribd, You Should See Me in a Crown. I always want to sing it, You Should See Me in a Crown. Okay, whatever. By Leah Johnson. This was an audiobook, as I said, and it was a 3-star, 3.5 for me, because it was cute. It's about this girl who wants to go to college. Her mother died. She lives with her grandparents, and she didn't get the scholarship that she wanted, but if she won the homecoming queen, she could get a scholarship, and she really needs the money. But she also is kind of falling for someone who is also in the competition. So there's that, and it's just really, really cute. It has that, early 2000 vibes, high school vibes with the homecoming king and queen. It is very dramatic and very exaggerated. I don't know, I live in Italy. I don't know if it's really like this, and I think they live in like the Midwest, but I don't know if it's really like this over there. But it's very, very serious, running for homecoming king and queen. But yeah, I thought it was really cute, a cute summer read. Next, I read the play Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare, and I gave this one 3.5 as well. I just really don't like insta-love, and this is like the king of insta-love. It is very famous. I bet every one of you know what this is about. We study it at school. I participated in a readathon for this book. I read this one and another one, which I will talk about in a little bit. It's the All the Words page. And I read my first play, my first Shakespeare play. I did a vlog. I uploaded it right before this video, so go watch it if you're interested in my thoughts. I talk about it a lot in that video. But yeah, the language was kind of difficult as expected, but being very familiar with the story, it was easier than, I guess, other plays, you know, to read. Next, I read Slay by Brittany Morris. I also read this one on script. I listened to it on audiobook, and this is about a girl who creates a online game, which is mostly like a safe place for Black people. Only Black people can play. And one day a kid gets killed, and this game gets discovered by the world, and white people start saying that it's racist because they can't play, and you know, someone tries to shut down the game and all that. And yeah, there were a few characters that I didn't like, especially one of the male characters. If you read this book, you know. I thought it was great, honestly. I gave this one, I think, 4 star or 4.5. Oh, and by the way, I read Slay for one of the prompts on the Reading Rush. This was for read a book set in another continent, so it was set in United States. I live in Italy. And the next 3 books that I'm going to talk about, I also read for the Reading Rush. I read my buddy read of the month, The Hostile Hospital. This is the 8th book in A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, and 4 stars, I remember. It's kind of changing because in every single book it begins with Mr. Poe bringing the kids to another place, and in this book there's no Mr. Poe. There is just the kids running away from what was that city in the previous book, and they end up in a hospital, and they're getting cleverer, and they're trying to do the same games that the bad guys do. And Sunny is growing up. We slowly see her, you know, using real words. You know, Sunny the baby, she starts walking, and I like this, you know, growing up kind of transition. But yeah, I really enjoy this one, and can't wait to continue on. And I read this book for a book that begins with the word the. The next book was for the prompt, read a book from a genre you want to read more of. This is not a nonfiction. I don't think it's like is it considered like a genre? But anyway, I read White Fragility, or better yet, I finished White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. I did not rate this one, but I think it's a great introduction, you know, to understanding white fragility. A lot of things I already knew, but I ended up, you know, agreeing with a lot of stuff. There are a lot of things that we have to, you know, better ourselves at. There was that chapter about white women's tears that was a good chapter. Anyway, this is not the only book you have to read if you want to learn more. This is more like a beginner book, and the other day I was watching the live show. I still have to read White Rage, but I'm going to, and yeah. Finally, I read the book that has the same cover as The Color of My Birthstone, A Ruby, and that is Animal Farm by George Orwell. And this is a classic. This is very short. I kind of knew what it was going to be about, but kind of not. I think this is about, it's a political satire of the Russian Revolution. I don't know. It's when, I guess when Russia became communist. I don't know. But it's about these animals in the farm who decide to go against their owner, and they become the owners of the farm, and they start doing what they want, and slowly things get worse and worse, and the pigs have all the power, and it's very, very interesting. Lastly, as I mentioned before, I read a book for the All the Words a Page readathon, and this is a book inspired or a retelling of a Shakespeare play, and this is not very much a retelling because it has nothing to do with Romeo and Juliet. It basically has the same character names, the insta-love, and very poetical writing. This is an Italian book. It is Romeo and Giulietta nel 2000 niente. I got this book because a few years ago there was a play going on here in Italy about Romeo and Juliet, and this author, Vincenzo Incenso, wrote this book, and he did like a signing with all the actors of the show, and I went there, I bought the book, I got it signed, and I read it. I DNF'd it. I skimmed through the last part because it was very depressing, it made me uncomfortable because there's a lot of self-harm and sexual abuse, and I was confused a lot of the time. There are a lot of metaphors, a lot of, you know, it alternates between him explaining his past and talking to Juliet. It's a long monologue basically, and him talking very poetical, making a lot of metaphors about colors, about technology, because it all begins with him turning on his computer, and there are 43 seconds before it turns on, and in those 43 seconds he sees Juliet for the first time from his window and starts stalking her, and I talk about this more in my vlog. If you are interested in, for some reason, go watch it. But yeah, not rating it. I basically DNF'd it because I skimmed half of it. So yeah, those were all the books that I read in July. Let's talk about the movies that I watched. One of the prompts that I had to do for the All the Words page was to watch a adaptation about a play of Shakespeare, sorry. And I watched Romeo and Juliet, the 2013 one with Douglas Booth and Haley Steinfeld. It was good. I think it was faithful to the play. Some of the language was different. Maybe that's normal, but yeah, it's just this play is very depressing. Then I watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and this is a horror movie, and I wasn't scared. I think I would give it a 3-star. It is about these kids who go into a haunted house and find a book written by a girl who died there. I think she was killed or she killed herself. I don't remember in this moment. But then, you know, scary stuff starts happening with that book. Scary stories start writing themselves. And yeah, I think there's going to be a sequel. I have a feeling that I've watched like a movie like this before. I just really want to watch a horror movie that is different, you know. The last movie that I watched in July is 1917. I watched this on Amazon Prime Video, and it was good. I give this, you know what, I'll give it 5 stars. The main reason why this deserves 5 stars is the way it was filmed. It is filmed as if it is just one long shot. The transitions aren't very clear. The only time that I knew they transitioned was when the character jumped off a waterfall. That was very evident, and every time, you know, they entered a room or they showed, you know, the environment around them, I knew that that was the time they made transitions, but they don't make it evident. It's just like one long shot, and it makes you feel like you're there with them, and it very much represents, I guess, the fact that at war they didn't rest at all. They were always, you know, looking out, and they never really relaxed, obviously, in war. And yeah, it was great. As I said, the filmmaking more than the plot. But yeah, it is about these two soldiers. I guess they're messengers, because they are told to send a message to another part, you know, another group of the army, the military, to tell them to stop a battle that was coming up the next morning, because it was a trap, and they have to go through this journey to go to that other group of the army, of the military, to warn them. So yeah, 5 stars. I did really like it. Lastly, let's talk about the 5 TV show seasons that I watched this month. The first one that I watched in July was Hollywood, and I really loved it. 5 stars. It's like an alternative reality, mostly because it is about this studio where they're making a movie, and a black woman is the protagonist, and it's something that really didn't happen in 1949. It is set in 1949, I'm pretty sure, or 48. Anyway, and I just really liked it because I like those settings. I like old Hollywood. Even though old Hollywood, and I guess today's Hollywood, was very bad, because you had to change your name, you had to change your appearance, you had to do a lot of things that they told you to do, and you weren't very yourself. But it's just a part of history that really, you know, intrigues me. I like watching, I really enjoyed The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So even though it was a very problematic time, I really like reading and watching about it, you know? Then I watched Outer Banks on Netflix, and it was crazy. I liked it. Sometimes I was like, what the hell are they doing? I was cringing, but it was fun. 4 stars. It was fun. It's a teenage type of series in which these teenagers during summer are trying to find a treasure, because one of the kids' dad disappears trying to find it, so they go to find it themselves, and it's set in Outer Banks, and it's very, you know, summer vibes, beach, and there's going to be a 2nd season. I watched the other day, I saw that they announced it, and it's very dramatic. Some of the characters I really hate, and annoyed me so much, but it was fun. Then I watched the last season of Jane the Virgin. Season 5, it was great. I cried. Jane the Virgin is about this woman who basically goes to the gynecologist and to check up, you know, but ends up getting inseminated. So she's a virgin, but she's also pregnant. And yeah, this is like the plot of the season, the entire show. But the last season was... This show is not serious. It knows that it's not serious. One moment she feels some way, and 2 seconds later she feels another way. It's just very exaggerated. It's like a telenovela, and there's the narrator. Like, I don't know, it's fun, and I cried. I really love this show and I recommend 5 stars. Then I watched the second season of Homecoming with Janelle Monáe. The first one was with Julia Roberts. Okay, so the first season was about Julia Roberts, who was a therapist for soldiers who came back home. And there was this program called Homecoming that, you know, gave them drugs to make them forget, and things happen. And the second season, it's very short. It has like 7 episodes. It's on Prime Video. It was very short, but the first episode really intrigued me. It's about this main character, Janelle Monáe, wakes up on a boat and she doesn't remember anything. And I was like, what happened? It's more like a mystery. And the last episode was crazy. In the middle, I kind of drifted off. I was kind of bored like in the 3rd episode, but the last episode was crazy again. So I'd give it like a 3.5. Lastly, I watched the 5th season of The 100. It was on Netflix. The last time I watched The 100 was a long time ago, so I didn't remember how the last season ended, but I watched the 5th one, and I'd give it like a 3 stars. It ended in a way that makes you want to watch because they discover something very interesting, so I want to know how they'll continue on. So maybe when it's on Netflix, it's not on Netflix, the 6th season yet, I'll continue. Those are all the things that I've read and watched in July. I hope you enjoyed this video. And what was your favorite book or movie or show season that you watched this last month? And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!